One. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mark with Limo Marketer. I'm joined here by Salman from Nashville Chauffeur. Salman, I just wanted to thank you so much for doing this.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so Salman's got a really cool story. So tell me a little bit about your business, Salman. When did you start it? Um, when did we start working together? Just give me a little background on how you got into the limo business.
I started this in January of 2015. I started this out of one suburban, uh, kind of grew in up till I would say 2018, 17 into five suburbans, but I was not really doing very good with those. And yeah, that's about it. And then 2015 to 2017, five suburbans.
What were
Uh,
you doing beforehand? Didn't you own a restaurant or?
I had a restaurant and I did very good in a restaurant and I made good money and I sold it at the end part of 2014.
Okay.
And I wanted to start something new. I wanted a new challenge in my life. And that's kind of how I got into this livery, black car service kind of business. Wanted to try it. I've been living in Nashville and saw a need for it. So, that's how I kind of got into this line of work.
Awesome. Now, when you first started your business, how did you start? Because you started with one SUV, you grew to five SUVs. How did you start to market your business in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I started and I uh, signed up also at that time. Uber also came to Nashville.
Okay.
And there was one company that showed interest in getting my cars on their platform. And I tried it and it kind of worked out good where I leased the cars to drivers and they would do my company calls and they would do then they would drive Uber and stuff and they would pay me a lease or something like this. Or we had a 50-50 split on that. Kind of worked good, but not that great. I I I didn't have any uh, company calls as I would say, and I tried different marketing things. I tried different marketing people, and I'll tell you a story. Uh, I tried this girl right in December to market me on Google AdWords and stuff like that. And I don't know what she did, but she ended up shutting down my site. Yeah. I mean, I was not getting any phone calls for 3, 4 days. And then I tried to log into my website and it said something like website doesn't exist or I don't know what she did, man. But that gave me an idea that she had no clue what she was doing.
Yeah.
Uh, and I had my brother fix it to come to my rescue. Uh, in December, I don't know, for some people it's slow, but I've always perceived December to be one of the busiest months with Christmas parties and light shows,
Yep.
and things like that. People traveling for holidays and stuff.
Got it. And so you went through a few, was that your only marketing company you worked with? Did you try?
No, 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 no. I went with 3, 4 of them, and they promised me moon and stars. And my only thing is, I don't know much about marketing, but I know my bank account. And if the bank account wasn't going up, that tells me that, I'm not doing good. I, I've even in a restaurant, I used to tell my staff, my managers, I knew my food was good. I knew my place was good. Uh, and I used to say, just get them in the door. And the rest is, I've worked hard on these recipes and this environment and all that, and I'll make them a client for life. And that's what I did. I just needed someone like you to get these clients come in the door and start talking to me. And then I knew how to sell it.
Yeah. So that's one big thing I want to point out is, so this wasn't your first business. So you ran a successful business. It sounds like you sold it and you were very good delivering a product that kept people coming back,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Because
Yes, sir.
marketing isn't cheap. And if you're only getting one-off clients, it just doesn't work out. And so, you know that, the product you deliver and now the service you deliver is really paramount to your success. And so, do you remember, we've been working together a while now. I actually think,
Yeah.
yeah, what was it, about 2 years now?
2 years, yes, sir.
2 years.
2 years.
And do you remember? I think I cold called you, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah,
You
and
did.
you were probably like, "This sounds like every other guy."
And I asked you a lot of questions.
Yeah. Do you remember kind of how that conversation went?
Well, I mean, you talked to me about the marketing, and you talked to me about the, your services that you offered, and I just took you like any other guy. I mean, I was literally burned out after going through 4, 5, 6 people, and also, like I said, I was at a point that, do I need to continue with this business, or should I just shut it down? Call it a loss, cut it, and move on. So yeah, I asked you a lot of questions. I think I gave you a pretty hard time, and you were pretty consistent, and you were very patient with me, and you answered everything. And the more I talked to you, what I saw, what I heard, and what I picked from our conversation is that you were confident about what you were trying to help me with. You seem to have a lot of knowledge. I didn't, but at least after the one good experience that I learned by going through these 4 or 5 bad Google AdWord people, it's kind of I learned what should I at least, to some point, what should I be asking? What should I be looking for?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then it's not that you try to sell me something. We did screen share a couple of times, and you showed me where the deficiencies were. You showed me where I was lacking what was not working. I think I was paying a lot for my, what do you call that, CPC rate and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Your cost per click was high,
Yeah,
too high.
it was way high.
Yeah.
It was like close to $100, man. And that kind of, so you educated me, but at the same time, I got to know that you have a good knowledge of what you are trying to help me with.
Yeah. So, and this is what's so tough. And I know myself from personal experience, whenever you're hiring someone to do something you don't understand, a lot of it's almost intuition, right? Because you don't know that all the technical aspects I'm talking about,
Yes, sir.
but you could gauge based on the people you've spoken with before, either I'm a really good BSer or I know my
Exactly.
stuff, right? And so, so no, I'm glad you gave me a shot. And so, do you remember? Because I know this was 2 years ago. Do you remember what the first few months were like when we were working together? Because
Well, it, we started actually right about this time, which
oh, I lost you for a second. So right
yeah, I
around
had a call
right around this time 2 years ago.
2 years
So
ago, which we
so
call as a slow period in our industry.
yeah,
But I started to see an increase right away, and business started coming in, calls started coming in, cars started moving, uh, and I was doing more of my drivers were engaged in doing more of my company calls, which brought me good and direct revenue rather than leasing the cars on Uber and stuff. And my drivers started to have good quality of life. With Uber, it's like fishing. You got to sit and wait and this and that. Uh, and the clientele is better. Nothing wrong that I'm saying about Uber clients. I mean, we were doing the Uber SUV, the top tier of it, not
yeah, the Uber Black or
stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. But still, getting clients directly, the quality of clients was a lot better. And yes, I started to see an increase in business, in revenue, uh, right off the bat, right first month.
What was your fleet like at the time? Did you
Oh, like I
stop?
said, I was just 5 SUVs and that's it. You know, I wasn't
You
willing
didn't
to
even have a
spend any
stretch,
more.
right? You
I
didn't have
wasn't willing
no
to have
stretch.
to do it.
You didn't have a stretch at that time.
No, 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 no. I didn't have no stretch. So when you started, I started getting. You asked me. I remember what focus do I want to? Do I want a corporate clients? You know, do I want SUVs, limos? I mean, you were very thorough with what I wanted to do. You were very in detail. You know, in which direction do I want to go, or in which direction should you help me with? And
Yeah.
I remember asking you at that time that I want to get into limo side of it, you know, and you started advertising me with limos. I didn't had any, so
Yeah.
I started getting calls for limos, and I started booking. But what I was doing is I was farming those out to different other companies in Nashville,
Yeah.
and the business kept coming in, coming in. Do you want me to tell you how I bought my first limo?
Yeah, yeah. What point? Because that's a great strategy because and something I want you guys who are watching this to learn is he didn't buy the vehicle first and then try to get the business. He got the business first, started farming out, and then at what point were you like, okay, time to buy the first vehicle? Because that's actually a funny story as well.
Well, second month.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
yeah. I mean, that's how uh, I started looking at the inflow, and I said I should have my own limo. So, end of second month, uh, I flew to California actually to look at this car, at this limo for sale, and I was so nervous that I even flew my mechanic with me.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
and the price of the car was 30,000. I bought a 2011 Lincoln Stretch that was in a good shape, but 30,000 was still a lot of money for me. You know, at that time.
Sure.
Remember, you know, I was just getting used to this business, getting used to this growth, and 30,000 was, you know, I was nervous about it, but I bought it, and so I bought it up. We brought it back to Nashville. Your calls kept coming in, your leads kept coming in, and in September.
It's like we're getting just a little bit of lag.
I'm
Okay,
sorry,
you're back.
I keep getting these calls on my phone.
No worries.
I don't have the lines. I mean, but still, a lot of people know me over the years.
You should have shut your advertising off for this call.
So that was my first limo, right after at the end of second month.
Okay.
As far as your question, now where I went from there, you want me to tell you that?
Yeah. I want, but before you jump into that, so how are you handling these? Because you are getting calls and you also get forms. What does your typical workflow look like? If you get a form, do you send an email quote, or do you send a text message, or what do you do? Because all of my clients kind of have a different way of handling this, and this is very important. And I think one of the reasons you've had so much success is because I'm guessing you have a way you handle each and every one of them.
Well, that's also something that I learned from you in the beginning. And I remember you telling me that the best result is once somebody emails me, if I can contact them within first 15 minutes of it, people like it. People like that timely response. So if they email me, I'll email them back right away. You should check my email every 10 minutes. Make sure this, you know, I had my alerts set.
Yeah.
You know, my phone will ding or something like that. You know, new email notification. I would email them, and then lately, what I did is I have um, to kind of answer your question in a greater picture, I have become the biggest limo in Nashville now, limo company in Nashville now. And I know we'll kind of talk about fleet. Maybe you want to hear that story too.
Yeah, yeah.
But now what I do is not only that I answer them with my email respond to let them know that, I've got it and I'm working on it, or I'm going to give them the best price, stuff like that. The fleet that I have, I send them a picture. And after that, they are not going nowhere else.
So that's huge. And I want everyone watching this sending the photos so that they can actually see what they're getting. And by the way, I'm going to share my screen in a little while once we get into the story of these other purchases, because you have quite the fleet at this point right now. But so you send a photo of the vehicle with the quote so they know what they're getting.
Yes, sir. Email, to start a conversation to get the ball rolling. Sometimes I will call them. I will text them pictures and stuff like that. Just, I would never put a lot of like a salesman kind of pressure on them.
Yeah.
But I was gentle enough to let them know that I got it and I'm working on it and I'm willing to know more what they want, and I'm willing to tailor it according to whatever their needs and desires are as far as transportation. So I got engaged and I stayed engaged till I get a booking or I get a definite no.
So that's another thing I want to just stop right there. So you don't just stop after you quote them, and if they don't give you a yes or a no, you will follow up, whether it might be email, text, I'm guessing mainly, or even phone calls until you get a yes or no, because you want one of the two, right? Unless the event date is passed, but you want to get some sort of an answer. And have you found that a lot of the bookings are made on those follow-ups?
Oh yeah. I mean, people like when you respond to them in a timely manner, in a quick manner. Sometimes they might email you sitting in the office and, they're just thinking about something 2 weeks down the road that they are planning something, and they'll send you, and you send them a reply back through email. They're not going to answer probably till later that evening when they get home and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, according to your email settings, if it's a company email, it might go to their spam folder. You might reply, and it might go to their spam folder.
Good
you
point.
know, and so then in the evening time, I'll shoot them like a gentle text that I did forward it. I did reply to your email. These are the options. Give me a call and let me know what I can do to help you out. And sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, I forgot about it, or sometimes, oh man, I never got it. I'm glad you texted me or called me or something, I want to make sure that I'm if I'm texting and I'm calling on a decent hour. I'm not going to call at 10 p.m. at night and stuff like that.
Sure.
Okay.
So real quick, I want to point that out. So because I hear this a lot, they'll say, oh yeah, I sent an email follow-up, but like you said, sometimes it will go in the spam folder. Gmail, I've found these days, is very vigilant with any email. It might even somewhat look like spam, can go in the spam folder. So you send them a text just trying to confirm that they received it, right?
Oh yeah.
So super important. So what I want to hear about next is, so you bought your first limo, which, I'm sure you were sweating, and that was after your first 2 months, but you saw the opportunity. You got, the leads coming in, you started farming it out, and then at a certain point, you're like, wow, I'm probably getting quite a few of these leads. It would make more sense for me to own the vehicles. And so what was your next purchase, and how did you decide to make that purchase?
Well, so after towards the end of second month with you, like I said, I bought my first stretch, $30,000, which I was sweating up and down, spending that kind of money. I thought it was a lot of money. And then I started selling it towards in March and stuff. Towards the end of that first year, I bought a Cadillac Escalade Stretch for 145,000. You know, limo, brand new.
Woo! That's a
And
big
then
purchase.
from 30,000 to that confidence of buying a 45,000 vehicle. Yes, that is a big
Wow.
jump in confidence that I never had.
Yeah. Looks like he's getting another call, but he'll be back in a minute.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I'm
No
sorry.
worries.
Yeah, I keep getting these
So
calls.
from 30 to
So,
145,000.
and that will also show you, though I'm not a dispatch, I don't dispatch, I have dispatchers now.
Yeah.
But still, how many calls I get?
Yeah. No, I know.
Just how busy I stay. So, anyways, so towards the end of the first year that I was with you, I bought a second limo, Cadillac Escalade Stretch, 145,000. And then the second year that I'm finishing with you, which we just finished last year, I mean, just now, a few days ago, I bought $1 million worth of inventory.
$1 million worth of inventory in the past year?
This last year.
So just so you guys know, I didn't know any of this. I talked to Salman yesterday. We were just discussing his goals for 2020, which he has very big ones. He's hungry. And when I found out, wow, $1 million worth of equipment, can you walk us through what some of those vehicles were and kind of your thinking behind them? And then also, I want to share my screen and actually show them because he's got some really cool, I think completely custom stretches that I've never seen before. I don't believe anyways. So can you walk me through a few of the vehicles that you bought?
So we have, I was thinking about, the Lincoln is good. I had that as a sedan stretch. And then I had the Escalade towards the end of the first year. And
I'm going to share my screen real quick just so that we can take a look at these. Can you see that okay, Salman?
Yeah, I can see it. That was on top, was left is my first town car. And then you see that Escalade that I bought.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to add one more stretch sedan. So I started talking to this guy who has become a really good friend of mine. We start talking about 300 Chrysler. I'm like, no, man, everybody's got a 300 Chrysler. So he said, well, what about Dodge Charger? And I said, well, why not Dodge Challenger? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. And
this one right here, or it looks like you got two of them.
I have two of them, yes, sir. I have two of them right now, with jet doors or gull wing doors, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then my kid gave me an idea to make the inside like Batman. So all the seats have Batman logo. The bars have Batman logo, and it's we call it Batmobile now.
That's cool.
The inside of it. Yeah. Well,
is it this one?
The first one is, let me see.
Or here, maybe it's this one here. But this is really.
Yeah. Let's go to the second line, and the picture on the right. The blue one. That's it.
Oh wow! Look at that thing. That right there is unique. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And so when you get these pictures, it's a done deal, right?
Oh yeah. Like I said, all I wanted them once to get into my door. All I wanted once to call me. That's where you played a big role, is getting me an exposure, getting my name out there to these people. And then the rest, it has to be a combination of everything. My service, my equipment that I had, but I cannot do anything with that. They can sit still in my parking lot if I don't have a lead to sell them.
Exactly. It's a team effort essentially because
it is.
I can give leads to some people that they don't understand like your product. Ever since Salman owned his restaurant, I think what I want you guys to get from this is he understands how important the product is. And I'm sure you offer your service is in line with your product, but just the kind of product he delivers, I mean, it almost sells itself. And that's why, you know, I'm sure you send, yeah, like you said, send these images when you're doing a quote and their jaw probably drops, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and so would you say which is your most popular of these
Oh,
that
all of them. You see that's Camaro at the bottom?
yeah, let me check this thing out.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's
I've
the
ever seen one
moon.
of these either.
This is a bumblebee now.
What? That is so cool. So they've all got different themes, it looks like.
They do. They all have different names and they all have different personalities. And
Oh, that's so cool. It's got a transformer.
there you go.
So, all right. So here's another lesson in all of this. He is branding himself. He's setting himself apart from the competition, so to speak. So I'm sure you probably charge, I'm guessing more. You must, because these vehicles are all look like brand new, just incredible interiors. Um, and you've just done a really good job of creating these unique products, these unique experiences, because we have to remember when people are going out at night, they're going out, they want an experience, right? And that's what you are giving them. And I think you kind of just understand that. Maybe you learn it from the restaurant industry. It's not even just about the food, it's about the whole experience. And so I'm guessing all of these vehicles move quite a bit then because they're all unique in their own little way. And so if someone's looking for a stretch, do you run them through each thing you have, or do you just send them a link to your fleet page? How does that typically work?
Well, like I said, initially when I start to contact them, I want to know how many passengers they have, what kind of event there is, if there's a birthday for a girl, or boy, or what kind of, what is their likings and dislikings and stuff like that. I don't want to get them in a vehicle that they might be crammed in or something like that. Different factors play a role in it. Just like a good waiter will guide a client in a restaurant after talking to the client that what should they eat or what kind of food he should or she should suggest to the client who's about to order food. You just gotta pick on small things and stuff like that. To answer your question, you mentioned something that I'm charging a lot more for these limos. Actually, I'm not. So
Really?
whatever is in the market in Nashville right now, my prices are very compatible to somebody who's giving them a 2012 Chrysler 300. And here I'm giving them something
Wow.
really exotic. And this is something else I learned in a restaurant business. When you open a restaurant, what we call it a honeymoon period. Everybody wants to come in, everybody wants to try it, right?
Yeah.
You're going to stay in business when you start getting repeat client. Repeat client is the key
Yeah.
to go ahead in this business. If you're going to charge somebody arm and leg one time, yeah, you have a good product and everything was good, but you know what? They're out of money now, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna leave a good impression.
Yeah.
So, my vision was that I want to give them something better that nobody has for
Yes.
almost the same price. And that in return, what it did, it started giving me a lot of referrals.
And loyalty. Like I'm sure you have
Exactly.
very loyal clients because of that.
Very loyal clients. People will call me and people will say, so and so rode with you last year, and I was talking to them, and they said, call this guy. He will take care of you. You know, they never ask me about money. They never care about money. They know my reputation is that I'm going to treat them fairly. I'm not going to overcharge them. I'm not going to be something which the prices of, you know, off the roof and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that means a lot to people.
Sure. I mean, that's incredible. So yeah, no, I can see why you get a lot of referrals. So you bought most of these vehicles then, because you said you bought the Escalade. That was your second stretch purchase, right?
Yes, sir, it was.
And then the rest of these three, and then you got a party bus. And I'm guessing you got that just because you were getting those inquiries, and you know, you probably farmed out a little bit, but once you had, you know, the lead volume, at what point is it usually, if you're farming out every weekend, do you know, okay, it's time to buy something, buy my own equipment? Or do you have any sort of, you know,
When do I come to that point that where I see I need to buy more? When my demand is more and I don't have a supply.
Got it. Yeah.
And you with you every month to month, 6 months, year, the demand just kept going up and up and up and up. And that's the confidence that I got by going out and buying more.
Yeah.
You know, and everything I was buying, I was selling.
Wow.
I mean, I take chances also. Yes, that's something I've learned since I've been with you. You gotta take a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and you gotta take that dive. You gotta take a risk. Have you seen that Jeep at the bottom?
Yeah, no, I was just about to. This thing is like one of the probably the coolest. Salman showed me this yesterday, and I was looking at it. This thing is incredible. When did you get this?
We just got this a couple of months ago.
I want one.
It's getting the looks. It's getting things like this.
Market themselves, right? Just driving around. It's
driving around. Yeah, people will take pictures and put them on their Facebook and stuff like that, and then everybody wants to know who has it. Everybody wants it. I just signed up with a Jeep group here local in Nashville. You know, I never owned a Jeep. This is my first Jeep. So I just joined a group. I was looking, you know, on the Facebook. I said, maybe I should start, you know, hanging out with some Jeep people now that I have Jeep. And I did that last night around 10 p.m. Guess what? This morning, I have a message in my email from these two folks who are getting married, and they want to rent my Jeep.
I love it. That's
for 6 hours, you know.
So all these unique vehicles you have, the beauty of it is they're so unique. People want to take photos, and that's a whole nother strategy. I'm sure you probably employ a little bit, but just like, you know, posting these photos, you know, to their Instagram accounts, and, you know, maybe getting them, I don't know if you've ever done this, but, you know, maybe giving them, like, I don't know, free bottle of champagne or something that, hey, tag, you know, Nashville Chauffeur. But I'm guessing people even ask, if someone has this photo on theirs, where did you rent that? You know, because I have never seen something like this before. And I'm, you know, where did you get the idea to get the Jeep? I'm curious.
Well, I just, like I said, you know, I always try to. So in Nashville, you know, a lot of people, Nashville has become number one in bachelor parties now.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people come here. You know, it's a good small town. Well, it's growing, but it still has that small town touch. You know, the weather is nice. We have all 4 seasons. It's not very pricey. It's safe. It's people are very friendly. I mean, a lot of factors that brings are starting to bring, people in to have fun and have a good weekend and spend time and stuff like that. So this was an idea that I was thinking, in summertime, which we should be kind of getting into in about next 2-3 months or so, I guess. In fact, I had it right before we had Country Music Awards, and
Oh, this would
somebody
be
saw
perfect.
it. I mean, I
Yeah.
got it like a one day in Nashville, one day prior to CMA Awards, and somebody saw it, and this was a perfect vehicle for Country Music Awards, and they booked it solid 10 hours for 3 days.
No way. Wow, that's huge.
Uh,
That,
so, uh, 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 things like this will sell you, right? They will sell by themselves, but it's not going to sell unless somebody calls me and unless there's a lead that brings them to me.
yeah.
I can have all these vehicles sitting in a parking lot. Nobody knows where they are unless somebody's looking for a limo, have a need for a limo. I'm talking about new clients. Yes,
Yeah.
the referrals, yeah, that's one side of it. But the new clients, I mean, I'm consistently getting more and more clients, new leads. And yes, then my part kind of comes in with this uniqueness of these vehicles and stuff like that.
And that keeps them coming back.
Oh yeah.
So I'm guessing you probably must have grown then from
Oh
2
yeah.
years ago when you had the 5 SUVs. Do you still have those SUVs now, or you focus mainly on like retail and?
I have 18 SUVs now.
Oh, okay. Jeez. How big is your?
In 2 years, you took me out of a driver's seat as a /Uber / picking up my company calls, 3-4 calls a week, to running a company, having an office, having a staff, having full-time dispatchers, having full-time a guy that details, cleans our cars. I just closed on a commercial real estate that I just bought as an office. I mean, my life has changed from driver to somebody that people know in this city now. And I'll tell you another story. After I started with you, and like I said, I was driving one of the SUVs myself. I started getting so busy that I had to put a driver in that SUV. And one day I had no car, and I called one of my drivers to give me a ride home, and he started laughing. I said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, you own a company and you don't have a car of your own?" I said, "I don't anymore. Every car is busy now." So that was a funny joke. But I mean, that's how it grew. It kind of exploded, honestly. I've never expected this much growth out of it. Not to brag, but to give you compliment where you have brought me. And I would say, yes, my hard work was there. Obviously, the vision was there. The product that I invested in is there. But still, it all had to start with you, Mark. It all had to start with the business started to come in, the leads started to come in. Only then I can sell, right?
Yeah.
And not to brag about where I am in 2 years as far as quality of my life and the fleet that I have now, and now I'm at a point that I'm buying my own real estate and having my own office the way I want it, with driver's lounge and proper car washing area, to having ice machines and all that stuff. Another thing I'll tell you is I just bought my first private jet.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, tell me a little bit about this. Obviously, so Salman's had so much success, and I appreciate the compliment, but look, you can provide leads to anyone, and the way you've been able to transform, and you just understand product, you understand sales. So, I appreciate the compliment, but I mean, it's been your blood, sweat, and tears for the past 2 years that have grown this thing, and it's given you the confidence to move into something else. So, what spurred the idea for the jet?
Well, again, I studied the market. Like I studied Nashville. Nashville was changing, and the leads that you started generating that I was farming out, uh, every call I farmed out, everybody had old limos, and I didn't feel good putting my clients that were calling me, the leads that I was getting, the leads that I was booking, putting in some old limos.
Yeah.
So I saw Nashville change, into something big, major city, and there was a need for it. So that kind of gave me an idea, study the market, and I started buying these equipment. In the same way, chartered flights, Nashville is a good city for it. A lot of
Really?
country stars. People think Nashville is all about music. Actually, health industry is big time in Nashville.
Really?
Health industry brings in more revenue than music does.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Huh.
So there's a lot of corporate travel, a lot of country music travel. I mean, we were taking these people to private FBOs to get a plane. So that kind of gave me an idea. Maybe I should get my own plane also.
Because you probably already have some clients that you service.
Yes.
That you can, market to. And so this is how like a born entrepreneur thinks. He's seeing opportunities and he's like, I can kind of leverage this business as a springboard into the private charter jets, which I have no idea how much those cost, but I'm sure it's a little more than a $30,000 Lincoln limo.
A lot more. A lot more.
A lot.
And I've been wanting to talk to you about this, but though I'm out of the driver's seat in the office running this company now, I still I think I was talking to you yesterday, and you kind of mentioned that we were talking, and you kind of mentioned that for some people December is slow. I was getting my butt kicked in December.
Really? Nice.
And so I wanted to talk to you about you starting some sort of a ad campaign as far as a chartered plane service that I am starting to offer here soon in Nashville. To start getting me leads on that and stuff like that, to market me, to get my name out.
I'm very interested in that because I actually think for me, that is because it falls under the umbrella of transportation. And they are like a lot of these guys that are, spending money on a high-end car service, they're getting picked up at these private airports. So, I think a lot of the clientele that I'm trying to market to for my clients now, some of those clients are also going to be using, private jets. And so I've looked into it a little bit, but no, I'd love to help you start to grow that one as well, because I already know you have the business savvy. If I can provide you the leads, if I can get you the people knocking at your door, I know you can make them into lifetime clients.
Oh yeah. I mean, I started getting this idea, with you. I mean, I kind of had this thing in my head. I kind of knew how it worked. I mean, you can have an office in the middle of a desert, a warehouse, right? Which most of the online shopping is now, right?
Yeah.
Amazon might have something in the middle of desert or in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's just presence online. If you can, a lot of people sit at home on their tablets, on their iPhones, and search for services, and it's not that you have to have a big storefront anymore. It's mostly online. And I knew that before I met you. I knew that, but nobody could deliver it. And you were asking me at one point what my secret sauce or what my secret is.
Yeah.
One thing is consistency. You know, when I started with you, I told you that I'm not going to judge you on a month, 2 month, even 6 months. I know it's going to take time. Things take time, reputation, your name, developing in the market and your exposure takes time. Yes, you were doing good. I mean, you did more than I expected. Uh, I don't need to say that anymore. I mean, in 2 years being jumpy about buying a $30,000 limo to a plane, I don't think I need to say it anymore, about that confidence. But, I knew it. I just didn't know how to go about it. I didn't have that. I knew how to run a business, how to make it profitable and all that stuff, but I didn't know how to market it. And that's what I'm talking about as far as online marketing and stuff like that, right? And I would say that it was our match made in heaven. You kind of called me one day and we started talking about it. And then
Looks like he's getting another call. All right. He's
sorry. Another call. So you just started delivering. I mean, that's it, being consistent. I was consistent with you. I gave you time to do what you needed to do. I know you could not do anything for me overnight. Nothing is overnight.
No.
You have to be patient and you have to be consistent. And then you have to be.
Oh, another call. And you have to be patient, consistent, and then what else were you gonna say?
Stand behind your product. I mean, in the service and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna bring me somebody, but if I cannot deliver, or if I cannot even respond back to them in time, or at least not give them what they were wanting to book, and give them something bad, something old. And the driver goes out smelling like cigarette smoke, or the car smelling like cigarette smoke and stuff like that. That lead will be one-time lead, and that's it. That's it. It's going to be dead, and more than likely not dead, but more than likely that lead. What is that? We used to talk about in restaurant that people, if they have a bad experience, more than likely 100%. They're going to go out and tell somebody about that bad experience. If they have good experience, maybe 4 times out of 10, they'll tell, hey, they'll appreciate it and say, people tend to talk more about bad experiences in their life, So your lead, yes, you did a hell of a job bring those leads in. But also, other than leads, you taught me how to handle those leads, how to respond, how to convert them into a sale.
Yeah, no, and that's, the businesses I work with that struggle, that's the main thing they struggle with is in the sales piece. And you nailed the sales piece, but I think almost even more importantly than that, well, you need all these things in order to grow, right? As quick as you have. But the product you deliver, the service you deliver keeps people coming back, and you created a brand, and we're only 2 years into it. I'm very excited because there's so many other things that I know we can do, and I'm going to do for you this year. Like Bing ads, retargeting, there's lots of other things we can do to grow even more. And I know you're going to, turn those leads into dollars, into clients that are going to use you forever. You're obviously very good at branding. He's got the Nashville Chauffeur banner in the background. So he understands that branding is important. And I love that you said, people talk about bad experiences, and they don't as often when they're blown away. Not everyone is going to go tell everyone, but they will. If they have a poor experience, they will tell everyone. And you've just had so many clients that have had great experiences. That's really what's changed everything for you. So when I called you originally, you still drove a little bit at that point.
Oh yeah. I was out of those 5 SUVs. I should drive one of those because that was the only way I could write myself a paycheck.
Yeah. So where are you at now in terms of staff? How many vehicles do you have in your fleet? What's that looking like at this point today?
We have 25 vehicles now.
Wow.
I just bought I'm kind of starting getting into corporate clients now, focusing more towards those. Limos did good. Party buses did good. Mini coaches did good. Getting more towards corporate clients. Bought a S560 just now. So 25 vehicles, and we keep growing. Our goal is towards the end of this year, at least have 35, 40.
Yeah.
I don't want to grow too fast. I don't want quantity. I want quality.
Exactly.
Over everything. My buying confidence is there. My buying power is there now. But again, like I said, growing too fast sometimes can come back and haunt you. Yeah. So I want to go steady. I want to keep doing what we're doing and take it to the next level as far as service and things like that.
Yeah.
You just said that you are going to obviously come up with more tricks that you have up your sleeve to give you more exposure out there. You, like I said, I've become from nothing to the biggest limo company in Nashville.
Yeah.
All these small operators, which are good friend of mine, all of them good people, hardworking people. Where I had to call somebody to get a limo when I would get a lead. Now they all know to call Nashville Chauffeur.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I work with them and I give them good price. Everybody's making good money. I think I've changed the standard in the market. I've upped it. Clients are happy. Affiliates are happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy, man, with this.
Yeah.
And
you treat your employees well, right?
Man. I have my people that I had in the beginning,
still with you.
Still with me. So that tells me I'm treating them good. I'm treating them fairly. They're happy. Their quality. I've gotten away from Uber. We don't do Uber anymore. No, sir.
Yeah.
And that made a big difference in their lives. They're much happier making money, good money, with our company clients and calls rather than going out and fishing and Uber and sometimes dealing with drunk people late at night and stuff like that. That's something that comes with those kind of Uber services or taxi services and stuff like that.
Oh, sure.
Not more likely to when you have a clientele that has retained you hourly, they tend to behave or much better than picking up a stranger on
Sure.
Uber at the end of the night that you don't know what they've been doing all night and stuff like that,
Yeah. Well, guys, so from driver, 5 vehicles to, you said 25 vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Biggest company in Nashville. I can't wait to see what 2020 brings. I know we're going to get you to 35 vehicles. And congratulations, Salman. It's really, this is like an American success story. This is like the epitome of a success story. And then, the private charters, I'm going to look into that. And let's do the same thing we did with you with Nashville Chauffeur. Maybe, have you figured out a name yet? Nashville Private Charters or?
I've actually started a name. I registered an LLC by the name of Cool Breeze.
What is it?
Cool Breeze.
Cool Breeze. I like that. Okay. Cool Breeze Charters, man. Well, hey, I'm glad thank you for being a client for 2 years now. You're one of my favorite people to work with because you're always positive, always upbeat. And you're always looking like, hey, what can I do to get a little better? And so I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve that we haven't even done for you, things I've learned in the past year or two that will accelerate your growth even more. So, Salman, I can't thank you enough for doing this. Everyone watching this, if you ever need, go to his website. It's NashvilleChauffeur.com, right?
Yes, sir. We are also in process of updating our website. That was my website. Like I said, I knew I needed a new website this is a website that I made off Wix when I first started. I knew I needed more professional, and that was my plan. One of the things that I need to do this year. Not that I was lazy, I was busy.
No,
I was busy. I couldn't get to that. And I need to get to that now. I hired a marketing guy now, full time, and he's gonna do all these websites and with your help, SEO and more exposure and things like that. This is all in the pipeline. This is all in the works now. We need to refine ourselves better and better. I want to say one correction. You said I'm the biggest company. I'm the biggest as far as limos.
Yeah. As far as stretch limos. I know you're
right now we still have two good companies, Grand Avenue and Signature.
Yeah.
And I think I'm number 3 now. From nobody out of 40 companies in Nashville.
In 2 years.
In 2 years, I'm number 3 now. As far if that's the number you want to put, then but as far as limos, Grand Avenue sold all their limos when they found out that I have this fleet now. Signature Transportation also sold all their limos. Good companies. Because I have this niche now. I have this niche. I have this fleet of stretch limos, and they're happy with it. They're happy to farm me out. So that's the one correction I wanted to make. I don't want to give nobody a wrong impression and repetition about me. But one day, yes, the vision is we will be the biggest company in Nashville.
No, I believe it. Your growth is going just like this. And
one thing I want to say here, add here, as a friendly, I'm not in no way. I mean, I'm promoting you. I'm helping you like you're helping me with this video. I want to, but it's not that this thing is all about promoting you. It's about my experience that I had with you, and if that can help somebody, just like you helped me, that's the intention that I have. So one thing I also want to say, when I was talking about being consistent, whatever marketing you're doing, don't think about the money down the drain. Think of it as an investment that is going to come back in a positive way one day.
Yeah, exactly.
You spend it, it's not going to bring, you're not going to see anything right away.
Yeah.
But, maybe for me it was right away, a slow change, which grew every day in first month, and but that was a leap of faith that I had to take, and I think we set ourselves with a big budget, just to start with. That was a lot of money, like I said, spending $2,000-3,000 a month right off the bat. But it was something that I have learned from my experience as a business owner and running different companies, businesses, owning, is you don't be afraid of spending money when it comes to marketing. It comes back, and you're going to have your slow time and your busy time and all that stuff, but stay consistent. Once your name is out there in the market, keep that name, retain that name.
Yes.
Don't pull that ad out for a month and then try to go back in again. No, you're not going to have that position.
To save a little money. I see that this is a slower month, let's shut our ads off. Or this is a busy month, shut my ads off. It's like over time, you're building your brand. Like people are saying Nashville Chauffeur. And over time, now I'm sure compared to 2 years ago, and I can tell from your Google ads, because we run what's called a branded campaign, which means we bid on just people searching for your brand. And over time, you can just see more and more people are just searching for you because they know about you.
Yes,
right? And that's really over time. I think two people, like you were saying, they get caught up in, what was my ROI in the first week? What was my ROI in the first month? And they don't have that long vision of, hey, do I want to build a brand that is one of the top in my city? And in order to do that, you need to have a presence online. It's really hard to grow a business like you have without that presence. I mean, how many meetings like BNI or you know, little meetings where networking meetings would you have to go to grow the way you've grown? I don't even think you could, just by attending those. And
You
so,
had the knowledge that I didn't have. You had the tools that I didn't have. I'm sure you have spent a lot of money and time to get this all under your belt. You know, why would I want to consider myself to be proficient at Google AdWords? And I mean, there's so many factors, there's so many angles to it. I'm not good at it. I admit it. And there's nothing wrong by admitting that you're not good at something. I'm good at a lot of other things, you
yeah.
know. But
And I'm still learning myself, you
yeah,
know, like it constantly evolves. So
yeah,
it takes a lot of ongoing education. And what do you want to focus your time on? I think you understand that where you focus your time is what you're going to end up growing. And you've been
oh yeah.
focusing on sales, on your product, on delivering a great experience to your clients. And if you do that, there is no way you won't be successful.
I had to get out of that driver's seat
Yeah.
to grow this business. With the leads, when the business started going, when the calls started coming in, I could have still driven those people. I could have still, hey, you know what? I can, instead of paying a driver, no, I had to let go of that money. I had to spend that money on a driver's salary to get me out of that seat and focus more on things which were important to grow. But anyway, Mark, it was pleasure.
Yeah,
It
you
was
too.
fun.
This
It's
was a
been a
long
fun
haul.
ride. It's not ending. Seems like this roller coaster hasn't even started coming down yet.
No,
Seems like
no.
we're still going up.
2020 is going to be your biggest year yet. I promise you that. Salman, thank you so much. Everyone, if you need one of these, like, you know, custom stretch limos in Nashville, this is your guy right here. NashvilleChauffeur.com. Hit him up. He's a great person to do business with. Thank you for being a client. Thank you for doing this. And everyone that watched, thank you for watching this.